In the land of Lesonia, where the hills rolled green and the rivers glistened under the sun, there ruled an old king. He was a wise and just ruler, beloved by his people. But as the years passed, one question lingered in the hearts of all: who would rule after him? The king had no children, no heir to take his place. The kingdom feared for its future, and the king, understanding their anxiety, made a decision that shocked many. He would not choose his successor based on birthright or power but on wisdom. The royal decree spread across the land like wildfire. The king announced that whoever could solve the puzzle of eternity would become the next ruler of Lesonia. But the king cared not for those who came seeking glory, only for the one who came with a heart full of understanding and wisdom. Far from the capital, in a small, quiet village, lived a woman named Anna. Anna lived a simple life, tending to her garden and offering her wisdom to her neighbors whenever they came seeking her advice. Anna had a quiet grace about her, and though she never sought to be seen as anything special, those who knew her could sense the depth of her understanding. One day, as Anna sat by her garden, a group of villagers passed by, speaking excitedly of the king's decree. The puzzle of eternity, they said. Whoever solves it will rule Lesonia. They spoke of glory, riches, and power. But as Anna listened, a thought stirred within her. She did not care for the throne or the lure of becoming princess. However, the idea that the kingdom's future rested on solving this puzzle troubled her. What if someone who lacked true wisdom took the throne simply by chance? Could she allow her beloved land to fall into the hands of the unworthy? Anna decided then, that she must go to the kingdom, not for the crown, but to help her people. She believed that her wisdom might also help solve the puzzle of eternity. And so, she packed a small bag, took her walking stick, and set out on the long journey to the capital. When she arrived at the palace, she saw many gathered men and women of noble birth, scholars and adventurers, all eager to try their hand at the puzzle. But Anna did not rush to the front. She waited, observing, quietly understanding the task that lay before her. The puzzle of eternity was no ordinary challenge. Many had tried and failed, and their failures had left the puzzle unsolved for generations. At last, it was Anna's turn. She stepped forward, her heart calm, her mind clear. The king watched her with curious eyes, for she was different from the others, quiet, humble, unassuming. But there was something in her gaze that made the old king hopeful. Anna was led to the first challenge, the river of choices. Before her flowed a great river, wide and fast. Across the river were multiple bridges, each leading to a different path, and each path promising a different outcome. Some bridges were grand and sturdy, built from stone and iron. Others were thin, rickety wooden planks. The choice of which bridge to cross was left to her. Many before Anna had chosen the grandest bridge, believing that strength and security were the keys to success. But Anna was different. She stood at the edge of the river and listened to the sound of the water. She watched how the river flowed. Anna knew that choosing the strongest bridge would not lead her to the right path. She closed her eyes, listened to the river's song, and let her instincts guide her. When she opened her eyes, she saw a small, hidden bridge, made of vines and twigs, barely visible to the naked eye. It was delicate and almost invisible to those who did not take the time to look for it. But Anna knew this was the path meant for her. She stepped onto the vine bridge with care, her steps light and sure. The bridge swayed, but Anna did not falter. She moved with the rhythm of the river, understanding that sometimes the best path is not the most obvious or the strongest, it is the one that aligns with the flow of life. She crossed the river safely, and as she stepped onto the other side, the vines behind her disappeared, as if they had never been there at all. The second and final challenge awaited her, the puzzle of eternity itself. Anna was led to a room filled with ancient stones, each carved with symbols and markings from a time long forgotten. The stones had to be arranged in a pattern, but the pattern was unknown to all who had attempted it. Anna knelt before the stones, running her fingers over their worn surfaces. She could feel the weight of history in them, the stories they carried within their carvings. Many before her had tried to approach the puzzle with logic and intellect, treating it as a problem to be solved through calculation and analysis. But Anna understood that this puzzle was not about logic alone. It was about balance, harmony, and the connection between all things. She closed her eyes and listened, not with her ears, but with her heart. She felt the energies of the stones. Slowly, carefully, she began to move the stones, not in a hurried rush but with a quiet patience, placing each one where it felt right. As she placed the last stone, a soft glow filled the room. The puzzle had been solved. The symbols on the stones began to align, forming a beautiful pattern that radiated with light and warmth. Anna stepped back and smiled softly to herself. The king, watching from afar, was moved by what he had seen. Anna's quiet wisdom, her ability to see beyond the surface, had proven her worthy of leading the kingdom. With great respect, he approached her and offered her the title of princess. Anna accepted. Under her rule, Lesonia flourished. Anna led with compassion, understanding, and wisdom, always seeking harmony and balance in all things. And Lesonia, under her guidance, entered a golden age of peace and prosperity, where wisdom was valued above all.